When you arise in the morning, think of what a precious privilege it is to be alive, to breathe, to think, to enjoy, to love. The happiness of your life depends upon the quality of your thoughts. Therefore, guard accordingly, and take care that you entertain no notions unsuitable to virtue and reasonable nature. The object of life is not to be on the side of the majority, but to escape finding oneself in the ranks of the insane. Nothing has such power to broaden the mind as the ability to investigate systematically and truly all that comes under your observation in life. We are too much accustomed to attribute to a single cause that which is the product of several, and the majority of our controversies come from that. How much more grievous are the consequences of anger than the causes of it? Never let the future disturb you. You will meet it, if you have to, with the same weapons of reason which today arm you against the present. Because your own strength is unequal to a task, do not assume that it is beyond the powers of man. But if anything is within the powers and province of man, believe that it is within your compass also. Begin. To begin is half the work. Let half still remain. Again, begin this, and you will have finished. Time is a sort of river of passing events, and strong is its current. No sooner is a thing brought to sight than it is swept by, and another takes its place, and this too will be swept away. Everything that happens as it should, and if you observe carefully, you will find this to be so. A man should be upright, not kept upright. The act of dying is one of the acts of life. If it is not right, do not do it. If it is not true, do not say it. We ought to do good to others as simply as a horse runs, or a bee makes honey, or a vine bears grapes season after season, without thinking of the grapes it has borne. Everything that exists is, in a manner, the seed of that which will be. To live happily is an inward power of the soul. Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking. To the wise, life is a problem. To the fool, a solution. The art of living is more like wrestling than dancing. Poverty is the mother of crime. A noble man compares and estimates himself by an idea higher than himself, and a mean man by one lower than himself. The one produces aspiration, the other ambition, which is the way in which vulgar man aspires. Nowhere can man find a quieter or more untroubled retreat than in his own soul. The universal order and the personal order are nothing but different expressions and manifestations of a common underlying principle. Natural ability without education has more often raised a man to glory and virtue than education without natural ability. Aptitude found in the understanding is often inherited. Genius coming from reason and imagination, rarely. Because a thing seems difficult for you, do not think it impossible for anyone to accomplish. Such as are your habitual thoughts, such also will be the character of your mind, for the soul is dyed by the thoughts. Let not your mind run on what you lack as much as on what you already have. Look within. Within is the fountain of good, and it will ever bubble up if you will ever dig. Death, like birth, is a secret of nature. To refrain from imitation is the best revenge. Anything in any way beautiful derives its beauty from itself and asks nothing beyond itself. Praise is no part of it, for nothing is made worse or better by praise. Do every act of your life as if it were your last. The universe is transformation. Life is opinion. Here is a rule to remember in the future. When anything tempts you to be bitter, say not, "This is a misfortune," but say, "To bear this worthily is good fortune." Observe constantly that all things take place by change, and accustom yourself to consider that the nature of the universe loves nothing so much as to change the things which are, and to make new things like them. When you are extremely angry, think to yourself how momentary is man's life. It is not death that a man should fear, but he should fear never beginning to live. Each thing is of like form to form, everlasting, and comes round again in its cycle. Death is a release from the impressions of the senses and from desires that make us puppets, and from the vagaries of the mind, and from the hard service of the flesh. Nothing happens to any man that he is not formed by nature to bear. Despise not death, but welcome it, for nature wills it like all else. That which is not good for the beehive cannot be good for the bees. Adapt yourself to the things among which your lot has been cast, and love sincerely the fellow creatures with whom destiny has ordained that you shall live. Where a man can live, he can also live well. Whatever the universal nature assigns to any being at any time is for the good of that being at that time. And you will give yourself relief if you do every act of your life as if it were your last. Let men see, let them know, a real man who lives as he was meant to live. Loss is nothing else but change, and change is nature's delight. Our life is what our thoughts make it. Let it be your constant method to look into the design of people's actions and see what they would be at, as often as it is practicable, and to make this custom the more significant, practice it first upon yourself. How much time he saves who does not look to see what his neighbor says, does, or thinks. Accept the things to which fate binds you, and love the people with whom fate brings you together, but do so with all of your heart. A man's worth is no greater than his ambitions. Forward, as occasion offers. Never look round to see whether any shall note it. Be satisfied with success in even the smallest matter, and think that even such a result is no trifle. Anger cannot be dishonest. Humans exist for the sake of one another. Look back over the past with its changing empires that arose and fell, and you can foresee the future too. Confine yourself to the present. Each day provides its own gifts. Be content to seem what you really are. The universe is change. Our life is what our thoughts make it. The best revenge is to be unlike the one who performed the injury. Tomorrow is nothing. Today is too late. The good lived yesterday. Life is neither good nor evil, but only a place for good and evil. Waste no more time arguing about what a good person should be. Be one. He who lives in harmony with himself lives in harmony with the universe. The only wealth which you will keep forever is the wealth you have given away. Be content with what you are, and wish not to change, nor dread your last day, nor long for it. I have often wondered how it is that every man loves himself more than all the rest of men, but yet sets less value on his own opinions of himself than on the opinions of others. To understand the true quality of people, you must look into their minds and examine their pursuits and aversions. Remember, there is nothing happens to any person but what was in their power to go through with in the first place.